Well, welcome everyone to the first ever Sheep Esports live stream this off season for 2024 stuff. We are all obviously very, very excited to be here with you guys. I am Germ, the host of all of our Sheep Esports stuff, mostly on YouTube, but apparently now every once in a while on Twitch. Hopefully, we'll be able to start coming to you guys more often. Joined here today by some awesome co-hosts who are going to have tons of awesome information for you guys and hopefully get to answer a lot of your questions as well. Today we have Alejandro. Say hello to the people. What's up, man?
Hello, it's me. Anonymotum, or Ano, or how you want to call me.
Oh yeah, everybody knows you on Twitter, man. You're famous now. We got Eros coming straight to us from his little tennis lesson today. How'd that stuff go?
How you doing, guys? I'm so happy to be here.
Whoa, don't sound too excited. And then of course we got the man of the hour. You guys know LEC Wooloo. What's up, buddy?
Hello guys, I just want to say if we have any players or coach watching this stream, you can always message me. I am looking for leaks, so don't hesitate.
Hey, that's awesome. And then obviously while we're getting our plugs in and everything, you know, we got to take a chance to plug Holy. Obviously, everything we're doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024, powered by Holy. Make sure you guys go get some for yourselves. It's an awesome way. Obviously, watching our stuff, interacting with our content, going to our website, all that good stuff is an awesome way to help support us. But also, if you use code SE5, you get €5 off your first order. SE10, 10% off your whole basket. So thanks to Holy. Hopefully, you guys go check them out as well. They're definitely helping us with everything: Twitter, YouTube, website, Twitch, all that good stuff. We love them. Hopefully you guys will appreciate them as well. But we do have plenty of stuff to get into today. I know we're running a little bit late. We got that Spanish time in our blood for some of us. So here we go. We're going to be getting into the offseason, talking through all the teams, hopefully answering some of your guys' questions as well. But I know these guys did want to start off by talking about the ERLs because we have plenty of movement going on there. So whoever wants to kick us off first, what's going on in the ERLs? What's the latest news over there?
I think Wooloo is really excited to talk about ERL, so I'll hand this topic to him.
Yeah, sounds good. Wooloo, what do you got for us on the ERLs? What do you want to start with?
Yes, so one big topic in ERL is in LFL we will have the salary cap, and this is affecting the region a lot because this is something we had last year in LAC, and that we also had since last year in Superliga. I don't know if Eros and Ano can confirm, but yeah, we also have a few exclusive news about ERLs tonight. I have one LFL player that has found that team some days ago to reveal, but after ERLs we will talk about LEC, about LCS. So if you are here for LEC info, make sure to stay tuned.
Yeah, no, definitely super exciting. I know obviously we have tons of passionate fans, tons of European fans all over. People who want to hear about the ERLs, their favorite teams, all of that good stuff. So yeah, that'll definitely be exciting. Do we have any ERL specific news or any players or teams you wanted to cover right off the bat? Anything anyone wants to kind of get off their chest or throw out there right now, or?
Yeah, I think Los Heretics is the best team on ERL already, so I think LFL is doomed. They're going to lose again European Masters, and now they will cry because they got a salary cap. So yeah, that fucked them up a lot. Blah blah blah, all this shit. You know, I posted something about the gap closing, and Wolo started crying. Like, this guy is a crybaby. So what else can I say, man?
It's just because he was sharing fake news. So I had to correct it.
News,
because,
bro.
Yeah, he was saying that the Spanish league. He was saying that the Spanish league will compete with LFL next year, when all players, they are all prioritizing LFL offers, and
that's
the only
true.
reason that's true. You can confirm. And the reason HERETICS got players first is because LFL offers could not send LFL teams, could not send offers yet because the salary cap was not decided yet. Yeah, it got better.
I mean, what I can say is, at least with Team HERETICS, there is one of the players that received offers from LFL, and he's with Team HERETICS. Tracing, for example, didn't receive offers, but the teams literally told him that they want him. They said how much they could offer, and didn't happen. And with Douglas, honestly, it's kinda the same. A lot of teams showed interest on him. So
Yeah, but they couldn't make an offer. They couldn't make an offer. And Team Heretics.
Yeah, and Heretics was so close to get Camilo, and you shit your pant, bro. Insane. So please.
Camilo was like with Heretics, and Heretics was the one who.
Guys, one question.
From other one, from Sayator.
One question: is it true or not that Heretics put pressure for the players to sign verbal agreements? It's a smart play. I'm not criticizing them. They should do it, but it's what they do.
I mean, all the teams put deadlines. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
LFL too.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying that's why they picked the Spanish league.
I don't agree. But okay, we will never know. So
that's what I was gonna say. I think ultimately at the end of the day, the LFL, the Spanish fans are never gonna see eye to eye. We're never gonna get to that total agreement. But I think that's a cool thing too. Obviously, a nice the rivalries and everything we have in the ERLs is gonna be a big thing. And it's nice. I like right now here that we have some representation from everybody as well. So hopefully everybody's fans, can be heard and seen and everything, which I think is exciting. Hopefully that makes it more fun for you guys.
Yeah, we even have representation from NA today, so we can laugh about LCS a lot too.
Yeah, we have the NA fans who are just confused, have no idea what you guys are talking about, no idea what's going on. They're waiting for some JoJo news or whatever. But we'll get to the good stuff. We'll get there.
We've had a bit of Spanish versus French war in LEC, so we have it a bit with the reporters today. But I think we can move on to the better information.
Yeah, sounds good. So you guys are ready to move on to some LEC stuff. You guys got everything out that you wanted to for the most part. Nobody has any last trash talk or anything else to throw out there.
Oh, as I said, I actually have one report to do for LFL tonight.
Let's do it.
It's about Gentlemates, the LFL team. For those who don't know, Gentlemates, it's a popular organization into LFL because kind of like KC or Koi, they have a lot of influencers behind it. And yesterday we announced that they had Comp AZDC. So Comp, the Rogue ADC, will not be in LEC next year. He will be with Gentlemates. They are also getting a rookie top laner, Empiros. But they also have locked the mid laner of the team. I'm wondering if the chat has any guess of who the mid laner is.
Gotta see if we get any names thrown out there from them real quick. We know we got tons of people all over Twitter, and we have Twitch chatters that are, investigative reporters and all that stuff. So I'm sure they have some ideas.
Second, no. Okay, so I see a lot of second VTO, Eka. So good guesses, because VTO was actually the second option for Gentlemates, because there is a chance that we see VTO in LFL. But the first option who has now reached a verbal agreement is Eka, who is returning to the team despite being benched for the summer split. So this is a very unique situation where a player who got benched is actually getting back on the team. So Eka will be the starter of Gentlemates next year.
Do you think Gentlemates decision making is a bit weird? So you bench a player, you get a Korean one, if I'm not wrong, and then you came back with Eka. Do you think it's a bit weird? Let's say that.
Yeah, it's a bit inconsistent, but that's also because this season, Gentlemates have a new management, a new coaching staff, so that's why the decisions can be a bit inconsistent.
Okay.
I mean, the management of Gentlemates right now, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think they are always with Eka in the same team. So I guess it's a common guess for the mid lane. Yeah. I know that was the priority, so makes sense.
Exactly.
You want to explain a bit further the BTO topic, Hulu? Because people is really Eka over BTO. I don't believe it. Blah blah blah. Do you want to tell them why they choose Eka and what could happen with BTO? Because I think there is a special situation about that, right?
Yeah, so I think that those are good questions. Well, first, as Alejandro said, the management of Gentlemates, they know the value of AK because it's the former management of LDLC, and I'm talking about more than one person. So I guess that makes a lot of sense. But VTO were actually also played on LDLC before going into the LEC, is actually now with Team Vitality, as we saw this year. But VTO still has a 1-year contract left with Vitality until the end of next year. So this means that Vitality is able to put him on their academy team if VTO wants, but it's still possible that we see VTO on an other LFL team. I see that Alejandro knows about it too. Yeah, you have to same info.
No, it's true. Betheo, I mean, there is one team in LFL that is trying to get Betheo. I will let Gulu to say the name if he wants. And we will see what happens because as far I know, he's allowed to explore options. And I am not sure if he will end in the LFL, so we have to wait. That's the only thing I can say.
Spill the beans.
You can also say it, Teros.
Tell them, I think BTO has a slight chance to still play on LEC next year, so I think by the next days, probably next week, we will know what is going on with BTO and all this stuff. So yeah, maybe he got his redeem arc on LEC, who knows?
Yeah, he's having tryouts with an LEC team. I think it's unlikely that he joins, but I wish him the best with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exciting. I'm glad we're already getting some spicy stuff out there. I think people will be interested to hear that about VTO. I know it seems like the chat is pretty excited, wondering if VTO is jailed or locked in by buyouts or, what's going on with VTO and different stuff like that. But I love that we have some theory crafting going on. Also, I see that Yellow Toad is in the Twitch chat right now. He just popped up on my thing. So that's funny. I'm excited for that as well. Happy that Yellow Toad's here. But yeah,
Toad is the best. Toad is the best.
So you know about Toad even in NA? That's surprising.
Oh, of course. Toad is
bro.
He always stream North America.
During the Spica stuff, when Spica was having like drama with TSM and blah 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 a couple years ago, that's how Toad kind of got his NA crossover because he was like, "Hello, NA fans! Like, I need to talk about Spica. I need to recruit Spica. All this stuff." So it was this whole thing. But definitely a funny guy. Seems like a nice guy. Happy that he's here. Happy that we're getting, all the people from the community into this. Obviously, we want to make this as big and welcoming to everybody as we can. Hopefully, we're doing a good job of that so far. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming out from you guys. I love the insight, love the info. Ready to swing it into the LEC, get to the main event here.
I think we can talk about LEC.
Sounds good. I believe we're going to be pulling up the transfer hub on that you can find on obviously sheepesports.com. I know it's a really cool tool that I've been using a ton when I have showed it in some of our videos and stuff. People are always like, "Oh, what's that site? How do you find that? Blah blah blah." And yeah, the transfer hub, sheepesports.com. It's like a little button. I believe it's in the top right hand corner. Shows you all the up to date information for all the different teams. You can check it out for all the different leagues. But obviously, news is happening very fast. You wonder who's locked in, who's going to what teams, whatever. So whenever we do have a new report, a new article, whatever, it's kind of updating live over there. So definitely something you guys should check out and something we're going to be running through. We do actually have a couple of teams that do appear to be fully locked for 2025 in the LEC now. So I think we want to start by talking about Team Vitality, as they are one of our teams that has, which is crazy. We're still during Worlds right now. I have to remind everybody, Worlds is not even finished yet. But Team Vitality has a full 5-man roster for 2025, it looks like.
Yeah, who go ahead?
I think Anonymous because he loves Vitality so much. So let's get Alejandro his chance to talk about Vitality.
We need that passion.
He's saying it because he wants to win all the Spanish community, but okay. About Vitality, they were clear at the start of the offseason. I think they were the first ones to start to move, to be honest. Mid laner and top laner were going to change. And as far I know, the management, the coaching staff, and everyone value a lot the academy. So they decided to just put that value in the academy and go ahead with it. So they promoted Nagnako and Sayek, as we reported before. And for me, honestly, I think both players have a lot of talent. Of course, they are rookies. I don't see the top. They are going to be the top one of the LEC, but I think they can. They have a lot to say in the LEC. To be honest, they are doing good. So we will see. I don't know if you have anything to say, Eros or Will.
I think this team sucks.
What?
I think this move is also justified because I feel like Vitality want to send a message where it's useful to play in their academy, and because they had this reputation some years ago about the contract jail and wasting talents because they would bench a lot of talents. So I think Vitality is a bit trying to fix this image, and I don't know how much it can impact it, but that's also why they promote players to the LEC. But I think on the topic of Vitality, we can also talk about other players they considered. Do you want guys to talk about who they considered in mid lane or in top lane?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, but do you want to say to
No, all on you, bro. Like, you are so enthusiastic about Vitality, so go ahead, please, for the mid lane.
Oh, you're the boss. So you gotta lead us.
Alejandro is enthusiastic about Vitality too.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, but
I mean, to be honest, I don't remember. I know there were options in mid lane, for example, Niski, but
yes.
Like since the start, to be honest with the audience, I kinda knew that was going to be Sayek. I thought Niski was really difficult. And for top lane, I think Nagnako was the first option. Maybe there were other options, but I'm wrong. Maybe you can correct me, Will.
Yeah, no, but that's why I ask you, because I didn't hear any other option for Nagnako, so I wasn't 100% sure. But I feel like the idea of promoting Nagnako exists since a long time already. So yeah, but this also means that now Futun is without a team for next year, but it's still possible to see him in LEC. Some teams have considered him for top lane.
And then I know one thing that a lot of people are going to say, and I've already seen a little bit of this, but I think it's natural to kind of think this. You guys are talking about how, and we've seen kind of the narrative from Vitality has been, we really believe in our ERL project and we want to promote academy players and all that. Do you guys believe in that? Do you guys think that is something that can be successful? Because I can see the other side of people just being like, you guys are just being cheap. You guys just want to save money. You guys want to cut back budget. You guys aren't even trying to get good players. Because if this team does end up being not a very good team, one of the worst teams in the LEC, whatever, that's going to be something people are saying all the time, like, why did we go with this super cheap budget roster just so you guys can save money? Do you think money is at play at all here, or do you think they really are like, we love these ERL players?
I think it's a mix of both, not gonna lie. Because Vitality has been spending a lot of money recently on their roster, so they cut off a bit with that idea of having super rosters because it's not working out. So that's when also they hired Mark Campard, that worked a lot with rookies on Mad Lions, so they developed this long-term project, blah blah blah. So I think that Nako is really talented. I feel Sayek time to go LEC has passed a bit on, so I don't know how will go, but for me this team should be mid-low table. I don't think they have really a big chance to contest any LEC trophy or going further on playoffs.
Yeah.
For me,
go. No, you can go ahead. I talked about Vitality a lot already.
No, like what I think is like they have to give this chance to the academy players because if they trust the project, they have to show to the players that they trusted. And of course, if it doesn't work, I guess they will do changes later. But this is not something that is decided yet because the LEC didn't start. So that's my feeling. I don't have info, But yeah, they have to do that shot. That's it.
Yeah. I also wonder if like it makes Team Vitality like Academy or Team Vitality B or whatever a more attractive landing spot. If it's like, oh hey, if you come to our team, like you might actually get promoted to the LEC. Like that could be a good thing as well. Just kind of thinking off the top of my head. But I don't want to talk about Team Vitality too much. Obviously, that's not what everyone's here for. You got one more thing? All right, real quick, make it quick.
Yes. Yeah, just on the money topic. I think we all know Vitality is also putting less money on the roster than before. Eros mentioned the super team. Now, whether this is a choice of Vitality to spend much less, or whether they don't have the choice and have less money than before, I am not sure. But what I am certain about is they are really trying to go on a cheap roster. Same thing, I don't know how much that contributed to their roster choices, but they were committed very early to Tsajek and Naknako, so I think they also trust the players a lot. Because a lot of rookies are available, I think they trust them specifically. And also Tsajek, one last detail, was tried out for many weeks before being signed for the LEC team. So yeah, I just wanted to end on this topic with those details.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Obviously, Vitality, I'm sure, knows their players best. Obviously, they should know them inside and out. So if they're believing in them, hey, maybe we should all believe in them as well. But we're going to find out very soon because obviously if they end up not looking very strong, there's going to be some people questioning why Vitality maybe had that confidence in the first place and maybe questioning, their scouting and recruiting and all that stuff. But that's a story for another day. We got to move along a little bit to our other team that is fully locked in for 2025, at least according to, all the details and everything we have so far. Verbal agreements, all that good stuff. You guys know. Team BDS is a team that people are going to be excited about in some ways and have some question marks in some ways. Eros, you got anything to run through us real quick about Team BDS?
I love this team, not gonna lie. I think they upgrade on the roles they needed. Nook has been mega solid this year, top 3 mid laners LEC. Ice2, I think Parus is one of the most desired supports since long time, and Irrelevant has been also a great top laner and performed quite well on SK, feeling like more of a one-man army team, So I think it's a great team. I'm really curious to see how 113 will end up on this BDS way of playing the game, because it's quite unique, quite similar. Always they focus a lot on bot lane and ice. So I think they're more how to say it. They have way more tools for the next year. So and I'm 100% they will be a threat for the LEC title.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's crazy because this BDS team definitely did some cool stuff. Getting Irrelevant, getting Parus, that is awesome. But I can already see in the Twitch chat and people have been commenting about this, like 113 over Shiro, 113 Pepe laugh, like all this stuff. That's kind of the big question mark for me, and I think a lot of other people is, how is 113 going to fit into this team? How's he going to be? Obviously, we've seen the best of him and maybe the worst of him at times as well. And I think it's the biggest question mark. You guys think 113 will fit into this team well, come back into the LEC strong? Do you think he's going to be a question mark? Does anyone have any concerns or anything about that, I guess?
Well, for me, I think Sheo and Nook was a stronger duo, because my way of seeing Team BDS play the game is more like the jungler needs to be a support for the solo lanes, and 113, like, his best aptitudes are his explosiveness and his creative way of playing the game, also his carry junglers. And I think this doesn't match quite well with how BDS played the game this year, but maybe next year they change a lot the game, so don't know, not gonna lie.
I mean, my opinion, to be full honest, is a striker is in BDS. He had SEO, he had 113. I guess if he decided 113 has to be a reason for it. So yeah, that's what I think. I think it's more risky, the play style of 113, but I am not an expert in League of Legends, so I guess that there has been some reasons.
Yeah, and then obviously I think the last big thing to talk about with BDS is just how good is Perus? How good is he going to be? How excited should people be about him? I know when Wooloo and I talked a bit previously, he was saying, Perus, like Labrov gets benched for Perus, and then Mickey gets benched for Labrov. So like, is Perus this beast? Is he going to come in and just take over the LEC? Like, what's going on here? How good is this guy?
Yeah, so I was kind of memeing when I said this on Twitter. But not so much because, okay, I may be delusional, right? I'm only a Diamond 1 noob, but I think Parus has the chance to be the best support in Europe, I believe. And Parus actually had the chance to go in LEC last year also, but had some visa issues, so he couldn't. So he stayed one more year in LFL, and he won everything. He won LFL, he won EMEA Masters, and he was the MVP of the league. So I think Parus is already one of the best supports in Europe. And between him and Calist, for me, they are the two players I'm the most looking forward to see play in LEC. I don't think they will be rookies that need time to step up. I expect them to be really good straight from the beginning. So yeah, I'm really excited about Parus personally. Really excited about Irrelevant also because he had interest from many LEC teams, but he chose BDS. He was the first option of BDS2. As you mentioned, 113 is maybe the only question mark on the roster. So maybe I would have preferred to see Scumont there from BDS Academy because then I would have no doubts about this team. But 113, one last thing to note is also used to be on the team with Striker, the head coach of BDS, was actually the head coach of 113 when he played on Carmine Corp, but that's back when Carmine Corp was LFL team only. They were not in LEC, and they won together. So yeah, maybe that can be a good thing, right? Because Striker knows the profile of 113. But yeah, for me, it still remains a question mark. But I think he can surprise because last time we saw him in LEC with Astralis, it was not expected, and I think he did play better than expected. So yeah, that's all I think about BDS.
Yeah. Also, the offseason of BDS is really good because Irrelevant and Parus were some of the most sought after players. Like, there are a lot of teams that asked for these players. Parus, well, was locked really fast, to be honest. But Irrelevant, I think all the teams that were considering to change top laner wanted Irrelevant. So I think it's really good offseason, to be honest, from BDS.
Same with Ice, actually. Ice also had interest from other LC team because he was going to be a free agent. He was not under contract anymore for next year. And BDS managed to re-sign him.
Yeah. No, sounds good. I mean, I'm glad we got to touch on a lot of different topics there, talk about a lot of cool stuff. Want to keep moving along just so we can get through all the teams. Obviously, we have a lot of stories and stuff to talk about. Did want to read one Twitch chat comment real quick. Somebody actually has a comment directly for Eros. This guy asks, hi, I have a question for Eros. Where did you get your haircut so I don't go there? Just wanted to throw that in real quick. Obviously, we have a lot of funny people in the Twitch chat and everything. So.
People say that, yeah.
Had to break it up a little bit there. So if you guys have any questions for anybody, feel free to put them in the chat. We can maybe get some of your questions asked in the video. But that was one that stuck out to me specifically. Next up on our list of teams, we actually have Mad Lions Koi, which is obviously a team that I'm sure everyone will have some things to say about and be excited. Wooloo, you haven't taken over a team for us just yet. So do you have some Mad Lions Koi updates for us on what we have so far for the roster or what might be ahead to come?
So I would like to give you a big scoop, but the issue is that a co-owner of Mad Lions Koi is actually leaking the team. So yeah, Jojopion is the first option for Mad Lions Koi, as a lot of Spanish fans know, as Ibai has said too. So we cannot really hide it. But yeah, he's only the first option. That doesn't mean Mad Lions Koi is the first option of Jojopion, because that is not the case. There is a higher chance to see Jojopion in LCS. There is also a chance to see Jojopion in another LEC team. But yeah, the big question for Mad Lions will be the mid lane.
Yeah, I know. I saw
Something
like you can go real quick. What do you got to say?
I want to say to the Spanish fans that calma. I think things are going good. To be honest, that's the only thing I want to say. It's early to say anything, but that's how I see the things.
Yeah, that's something that I was going to ask too, because I saw that people, when they were translating what Ibai was saying and everything, that Ibai was saying, even if we don't get JoJo, we still have some really good options. And for me personally, I didn't know if he's just saying that because he has to. Like, hey, if he's trying to sign some players, he can't be like, oh, this guy's shit, but whatever. Like, he's our second option after JoJo. So, I know you guys can't say too much, whatever, but if it's not JoJo, if it does end up being their second, third option, whatever, are those options still exciting? Are those options still going to be strong? Is Mad Lions still going to be okay at the end of the day, no matter what? Do you guys have anything to add in terms of that stuff?
Eros, do you want?
I think any mid laner that Melfet will pick up will do great because he has the knowledge to
Except Fresco.
To teach the players how to play the game, and even Fresco at some points of the season look quite well for LEC. So yeah, like I think we need to wait a bit more because also Jojo Bium is taking his time to have his decision, as he feels this offseason is really important for him after all this C9 drama. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, there are two main options. I think both. I mean, there are leaked, not from me, but I think the people already talked about it. Both options are really good. There are other players considered. I don't know if any more because today I was not following this, but I think they could get one of that two options. And if Melfet is choosing it, I'm sure that they have to be good.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of fans are obviously excited to see what they'll come up with and are obviously very hopeful. The team definitely showed some nice signs throughout the year, showed some not so nice signs throughout the year and stuff like that. But yeah, they're definitely, I think a lot of people assume just a couple of pieces away. I know that Ibai was also saying that the rest of the players are like 100% locked in for next year. So hopefully fans will be excited to hear that stuff as well, that, they're mostly done. I also think I saw that Ibai said they want to get the mid lane stuff situated like within the next week or maybe week or two or something like that. So it seems like they want to be, not waiting around all off season either. So I'm interested to see how that's going to affect everything.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we'll see a decision very soon, but yeah, maybe next week or 2 weeks after.
Yeah, sounds good. I know, obviously, Mad Lions KOI, very popular team, a team that people are wondering about, and obviously, when you have other big names like the JoJo fan base and everything crossing over, there's going to be some people curious about that. So I'm happy we could touch on that. Anything else for Mad Lions KOI, or do we think we're ready to move on?
Maybe what do you guys think? Should we do a little teaser about the second option?
Oh.
Tell me if you guys have the same info. It's a Korean.
Yeah.
Okay. Little teaser. That's all I had to say, Jeremy.
Sounds good. All right, the fans can do with that what they will. I'm sure people will be going crazy with that all over the place and stuff. But yeah, moving along again, we still have all the teams to get through. SK, who we actually I think have some big exciting stuff here for. So take it away with our SK news.
I think it's Wulu, this one, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wulu? Oh, this guy
Yeah,
is
no, I thought you were going. I thought you were ready.
I thought you said Eros.
I clap for him, please.
I was just talking to you. I said, take it away. You're already cooking now. Keep going.
But I just said Mad Lions. I was confused. I thought okay.
No.
Okay.
It's SK time. Lock in.
Okay, wait. I need to get my Twitter ready then.
Okay. All right. Short break. We're gonna take some time.
Yeah. Because okay, guys. We have big news for SK. Because SK. I see if Niski is not jailed, guys. Genax is going to join SK Gaming into LEC next year. He's going to return to SK Gaming because that's his former organization. So yeah, that's a scoop for now. It got just decided yesterday. GIANTX would just won EMEA Masters, which means that one more player from BDS Academy is locked into LEC. We know that Parus from the same team is into LEC. We expect Skumon to be into LEC, but Rieker also is on SK Gaming. So this is like the fourth player probably of BDS Academy who is going to be into LEC. He's returning to SK Gaming. SK Gaming considered other top laners. One of them was Photon. They also had some talks with Adam, but they decided on GIANTX. The assistant coach of SK Gaming was also with Team BDS. Yeah, so I know that a lot of LEC fans know about GIANTX, and he hasn't been always that biggest superstar for the team, but I feel like it's not always the case for veterans, but I feel like GIANTX is one of those veterans that try to improve himself playing in the LFL. So yeah, curious to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and one of the things, obviously, I'm glad we could get some breaking news out on the show. Definitely something you guys can expect from the show. Whenever we have stuff, we want to actually be bringing to you stuff, live on here. I think that is very, very exciting. But one of the things I see in the chat right now is some people, having some Fs in the chat for Adam and saying, another top lane position in the LEC means maybe one less spot for Adam to go. Maybe some people being upset about that. I know people are pretty polarized whether they want to see Adam in the LEC or want to see him not on a team or whatever. Does anyone have anything to maybe touch on Adam a little bit real quick, just so the Twitch chat can be satisfied?
I think I feel bad for him, but I think the top laner spot is really rough right now on LEC, and also a lot of upcoming top laners. We haven't seen many changes, so yeah, no, not much to say about Adam. Don't know if Gulu wants to add anything. He was also quite open on his stream about his feelings and feeling that he's really underrated on LEC, and people are sleeping onto him. But well, if any guy does it like shit himself, you can always come back to LEC.
Doing my tweet case.
Okay, I can talk if you want. So yeah, in the mid lane they got Rieker. Was a priority to be full honest. They had other options, but in the end, HERETICS was interested in Rieker, also SK, and they decided to go. They decided to go for him. I think he's a good who has a lot of talent. To be honest, he had his shot in the LEC before, but this year for me was like, if not the best, one of the best mid laners in the regional leagues. So let's see how it goes. I think this roster can be really good too. I don't know if to go Worlds, but we will see. Time will speak.
Yeah, and obviously I'm happy to have another guy added to our transfer hub. Just another name being checked off the list, which is crazy. We're running out of spots in the LEC very, very fast. Now that we have obviously GIANTX, we have Isma, we have Rieker. Any news on the SK bot lane? Do we have any updates about anything that fans can kind of hang on to there for SK? Because that's, I know, 2 openings that we have on our spreadsheet at least.
Well, they have been trying out some things, but I think they're still undecided. I think there are high chances we can see Rahel next year also on SK, but I'm not so sure about support, but it's still an open topic.
Yeah.
There can be changes into bot lane next year. Support, I think, is more likely to change than ADC, but Luan is still likely to stay. I think they considered Kedri alongside Rael, but I think Rael is much more likely to be on the team. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, sounds good. And then, of course, anytime you mention SK, and right when we did, I saw the Twitch chat start going crazy. With the spamming of free Niski, obviously, I know he's been very active, very vocal on all different kinds of social media, streams, Twitter, all that stuff. And I think Wooloo had some stuff to add there. Just on the whole Niski situation, what we can talk about, can't talk about. What do you have as far as just maybe what's going on with Niski overall?
Okay, so a lot of people asked about Niski today on Twitter, because he made some cryptic tweets trying to steal my job. But actually, it's not. So I don't know what Niski means, but I do have an information about SK Gaming that I don't know if this is what Niski is referencing to, but it made, because it's not affecting just Niski, it's affecting Isma too. But SK Gaming is doing something very unique. I don't know if you guys know it. But
yeah, I can back you up on this thing.
But basically, what SK Gaming is doing has been doing for the past few months, at least ever since they finished the season in summer this year, to Niski, to Isma, to some players, they are paying the bench rate of players for the months where they don't play competitive. So usually players get a salary all year in TLEC, but SK Gaming, they are doing something different. Is once the season finished, they decided to pay the bench rate to some players. Like, technically they are not benched because there is no season to play, but they are paying, some players are being paid their bench salary. So let's say Niski stays, for example, with SK Gaming next year in the LEC, and he doesn't play in mid lane because they have Reaker, then it's usual that the player would be paid his bench rate. But it's very unusual that a player is already being paid a bench rate. Yeah. So that's the information.
Yeah, right. His bench rate, while it's still the 2024 season, while it's still Worlds, while he while he played the most recent games for the team as well. So yeah, that definitely at the very least sounds spicy. If not, some medium-sized drama or whatever. So definitely interesting stuff there. Glad we could get that out. I'm sure there will be a lot of discussion about that all over the social medias and stuff. But yeah, obviously maybe a little bit of a hairy situation. Hopefully, obviously everyone involved with that is okay and able to sort those things out, because obviously it doesn't sound like too great of a situation, or it doesn't sound like it'd be fun to be part of. So hopefully we can get those things straightened out, and hopefully we don't see. I'm sure most of us don't want players to be other players and other teams to get the ideas that that's something okay to do, or for other players to be affected by that in the future. Because obviously for some people, Niski, a guy who's been around for a long time, whatever, he still should get the money he deserves. But I'm sure for some players that could maybe be a bigger deal than some others as well.
Yeah. I just have to add one last disclaimer to what I just said. The information as just shared was told by me by sources.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm glad we could get some of that stuff out there. And like I said, I'm sure the whole story of Niski and the drama and SK and all this stuff is one that will continue to play out over the coming weeks and days. So definitely stay tuned for more of that, I'm sure. But yeah, some spicy stuff there. Definitely interesting. Are we ready to continue to move along? Did we get all of our SK stuff out?
I think so, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, guess what? You are taking over then. Eros wants to talk to us a little bit about Team Heretics. Sounds like he's even got some breaking news for us as well.
So I posted on Unjusted, okay? So I published it and it's on ship page. And yeah, basically, guys, Heretics has reached a verbal agreement with Stent, who will be their next LEC year support. They really tried to get Lavrov, as every team has tried this offseason, but yeah, apart from that, when Lavrov was out, Heretics explored their options. They talked to a lot of supports, not gonna lie. They talked to Oscure, to Fleshy, but Heretics and Machuki really believed in Sten. I think Sten had a great year. He was considered one of the best bot lanes on LFL with Jopa, and I think HERETICS is building a nice team, not gonna lie. For me, it's a nice move. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Sten was all the time the second option, as far I know, for HERETICS.
Yeah. Also, he was, I think he tried out with other LEC team. Don't know if Gulu can correct me if I'm wrong. And he was super high pre on LFL if he was not joining LEC. But yeah, since Labro was out, was a no-brainer for HERETICS to take him.
Like one day ago, or maybe the same day that he reached the agreement, I think he was playing tryouts for other LEC team. So yeah, it's a player that I don't know if the teams in LEC were considering him as first option, but was a player that a lot of teams considered. So yeah, I think it's a good pickup. And let's see what happened. HERETICS mid lane is not decided yet. So yeah, that's my info.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Obviously, I know that we've already locked in a couple of other players for them. I know Shio is a pickup that a lot of people are going to be excited about. But the weird thing to me about HERETICS is obviously since they had such a big name team of veterans and stuff before, seeing the HERETICS fans or the fan base that they built up or whatever, they're going to have to make this adjustment going into next year, going from Wonder, Yankos, all these Trimby, these names into Carlson, Shio, now Stend. So how do you think that transition is going to be? Is that obviously it's going to take some adjusting to for the fans and stuff, but that's kind of what I think is the most interesting thing here is getting used to you might have got some like bandwagon fans that were there for the veterans or the big names or whatever. Now they're making this big adjustment. So I wonder how their fan base is going to feel about all of that.
I think HERETICS is on the right path because last year has been a bit shaky, a lot of changes, a lot of drama on off-season. So I think they're choosing like calmly their team, they're exploring all their options. I think fans also like this new path of HERETICS. They're trying to build a roster that really wants to play the game and focus 100% on the game. And it's also a bit Machuki mentality of how to build a team, and not gonna lie, it's looking quite good. Also having a bit of knowledge of the last years and how it went last years, So yeah, for me that's all, and he will share bot lane with Flacket. So I think that duo will be really funny and will give us a lot of highlights. And
well, I mean that's always good.
The only thing is that's rest to get locked. So yeah, they're also into some fights with other teams for mid lane. Everyone knows. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
I mean, I know some days ago they had 4 options for the mid lane. Right now they have 3, and it's not the player that people is thinking about. I think they are still in the race, but we will see what happens. So yeah, I guess in the coming days, next week, should be done. So yeah, we will see who is.
Yeah, and then I think obviously one of the biggest pickups for them this offseason has obviously been Shio. Did we want to talk a little bit about what maybe some of other Shio's options were, or where he maybe could have possibly ended up besides HERETICS?
I can tell you a bit. I also debriefed it on the Shio article, which is on Ship. But basically, Shio was going to play tryouts with KC, and he had an offer from GIANTX. Well, 2. Not gonna lie. So yeah, but in the end, he decided he wanted to join HERETICS. He felt that the project was really interesting. He wanted to take a new path on his career, and HERETICS was his first option. Also, from HERETICS side, Shio was always their first option. So getting your first option, it's always a good way to start off season. And I think I like a lot Shio. I think he's a really underrated player. I think he had a great year with BDS these 2 years, and people sleep on him a lot. And I think he fits really well a bit also what Machuki wants to build for this roster and the mentality of the team.
Yeah, obviously, I'm sure. I mean, no, you can go. You're good. My bad.
No, my bad too. But I also believe we missed maybe one option of Shio, because I think he was the third option of Team BDS. Did you guys hear the same too? Because I think he was he was the third option of Team BDS after Scumond and 113. But fun fact, 113 was himself considered by GIANTX. Sorry to go back on him quickly. So there was a kind of a musical chair into jungle going on there too. But yeah, Shio had interest from several teams actually, which makes sense I think because he's been on a top team now for 2 years. So yeah, just wanted to add on that.
Yeah, and obviously even hearing that, he was connected to KCORP a little bit is going to be interesting, and obviously KCORP missing out on him, the fans I'm sure will either be sad or excited depending on whoever KCORP actually ends up getting for their jungler, so that'll be definitely something to be tapped in with, because, you miss out on one guy. If you get somebody better, it can be okay. If you get somebody worse, maybe it's going to be like, hey, what are we doing here? So that's something I'm excited to hear about a little bit more and get into for sure. But I think we need to move right along. I think it's time now for start getting into some of the big name teams a little bit more, maybe what people are waiting for a little bit. I know we have some Fnatic stuff next. Alejandro, you want to take it away on some Fnatic stuff for everybody? I know maybe there's not everything we can necessarily go super deep into, but still, what can you tell us about Fnatic?
What I can say for sure is that Fnatic is moving. Fnatic is exploring the market. The most likely scenario is that there will be changes in the team. I'm probably out of the team, but we will see. They had meetings. I mean, they were in Worlds like 1 week ago, something like that. So they are still figuring what is the best for the team. Of course, we secured 2 players, Oscarinin and Razork. The other ones, I am not saying that they are not going to continue, which, to be honest, there is likely that some of them continue. But for sure, one of them is probably leaving. So we will see if Eros or Gulu can say something.
Yeah, I think Humanoid is staying 100%. Well, 99%. I'm really confident into that. But yeah, and I also feel as Alejandro told, Fnatic is moving. They're trying to figure out this off-season puzzle. I think there will be changes on staff and on the roster. So yeah, let's see if they make a decision and we can get to know more a bit about their plans and all these things.
Yeah, Wooloo, you were making some faces. You got some Fnatic stuff to throw out there?
Yeah, because I'm not so as certain as Eros about changes happening or not. I mean, I made a face when you talked about Humanoid, and I think Humanoid is likely staying, right? But as Alejandro said, Fnatic are still figuring things out, but they still have to decide on the roster. So it's not as simple as this player is out, this player is not out. They have to decide based on the options that are available. Obviously, the top side is extremely likely to stay, not going to lie. But yeah, it's not like G2 where they finish Worlds, they make changes instantly, which is something very typical of G2 because it was the same thing 2 years ago when just after Worlds we had the bench of Flakot, we had the bench of Jankos, while same thing last year, 2 years ago, Fnatic, they make their decisions much later. They are always late in the off-season. Fnatic, not late in their plans, but on acting on their decisions.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too. Yeah, is that something that you think they do like by design? Do you think they would prefer to get their stuff done earlier? Do you think they like to get their stuff done later? Do you think it's good that they wait? Do you think it's bad that they wait? Can you say anything about that?
Well, it's just a different strategy. At least a good thing about it is that you are not busy with it during Worlds, which, if there are leaks, can be a bit problematic. But the bad thing, I would say, is that if you are a player who is being benched, and you know it very late into off-season, that can reduce your options. So we know, for example, that Yike and Mickey in G2 are exploring their options. So that's a good thing for the players. Yeah.
You do think it's by design, though? You think Fnatic waits on purpose? You don't think it's like, because I could see the other side of it being like, oh, Fnatic has to wait because like players, don't have Fnatic as their first option, so they have to wait and see if they can go to G2 first and then end up at Fnatic. You are kind of sounding like it's more so like Fnatic is waiting on purpose, being a little bit more patient on purpose.
Yeah, I think it's part of the strategy, because we often see every year that Fnatic takes time to make decisions into off-season. So I don't have the details exactly also why they do that. But yeah, this is something I've noticed covering off-season every year now for the past 3-4 years.
I mean, I don't know if it has to do with the strategy, but what I know when I covered off-season, when you heard about the offers and these things, is if you are the last team that close the players, you are the one who has the power to decide how much you are offering. Because other way, that player won't be in the LEC, So there are teams that use this strategy. I don't know if Fnatic is one of them. I just can't say about that because I really don't know it. But yeah, I think it can be.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And obviously, yeah, it's something you could maybe use to your advantage, but also obviously there's definitely some disadvantages probably to waiting later in the offseason as well. But obviously money is definitely a big thing and definitely a thing to always consider, and that we know these teams always are considering that. But yeah, obviously there's it sounds like a ton of different options and possibilities for Fnatic. I know people are going crazy with all the different Fnatic theories in the chat and on Twitter and everything like that. So once we do actually get that Fnatic news, we'll definitely get whatever we have to you guys as soon as we can. And hopefully you guys are excited about that. And hopefully Fnatic will make some changes for the better, because I know the LEC and I guess just League of Legends in general is better when Fnatic is good, when Fnatic is competing for LEC titles, doing something at Worlds. I think that's even people who aren't necessarily Fnatic fans, I'm sure that's something they want to see, because I think we can remember, a couple years ago when it seemed like, Fnatic's going to quarterfinals all the time and pushing teams to 5 games and stuff like that. That just seems like a better thing for everybody, not this where they're going to Worlds and having drama and issues and all this stuff. It can be entertaining sometimes, but it's not what I think we all want most at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so hopefully we got everything out necessarily about Fnatic, and then we can move on to another big scoop that we have, some more breaking news. This is one that people have been theorizing, leaking, whatever, all over the place, talking about different stuff. We're talking about G2. We have some news about them, and some stuff that I think you guys will be pretty excited about. So Alejandro, take it away. Let us know what's going on with G2.
Okay, so some days ago, I published that G2 was exploring options in jungler and also in support. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I published Labrov 2 for SIP. And now G2 Esports look at the jungler. The jungler is Skewmon, and he reached the verbal agreement with G2. Was the first option. The Skewmon is a player that all the teams tried to get. If they are changing jungler, of course, not teams like Fnatic or Mad Lions that they are not trying to change jungler, but that's what I think.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
so.
No, you're good. I was just laughing because obviously the chat is talking about Jetta Directa and all this stuff. So I'm sure they want me to ask you, was Toad
Jetta Directa first.
This is direct, hot off the presses, right from Toad. He tweeted it out. We just kind of threw that into our stuff. So no, I think that's hilarious. But yeah, obviously huge news. Getting that G2 jungler name out there. Can we talk about anything at all about, you said this is our first option, any other interesting names that they maybe considered, any ways they were going? Was it always Skewmon? Is there anything we can say about stuff like that? I don't know necessarily how deep we can go or whatever.
I think Skewmon was really the absolute first option. They didn't have negotiations with other players. So what's interesting to say about Skewmon, as Alejandro said, from my knowledge, Skewmon was the most sought after player into entire LEC. Like, the amount of teams who were interested in Scumond, I think, is the highest out of any player. To name of them, you guys can maybe help me because there's too many. It's hard to remember, but there is GIANTX, there is Team HERETICS, there was BDS, obviously, because he was the first option for BDS in LEC, and BDS made an offer to Scumond during Worlds, and Scumond declined to offer. Can you guys help me? What other teams were interested? I don't remember.
Well, KCORP, obviously.
Oh, KCORP, yes, KCORP also.
For Scumond, we're talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
SK was interested, KC, Heretics at the start. Basically, all the teams that are trying to change a jungler during this offseason or are thinking to change the jungler, they wanted the Scumond. If not first option, second one. Something like this. And also talking about G2, now that everything is out. Labrov, for example, is also one of the players that all the teams wanted. As far as I know, for example, well, Rogue didn't do an offer, but they had talked with him. Heretics, as Eero said before, wanted Labrov as first option. Giants was also considering him. I think maybe they were ready to send offer. I am not sure, so don't put trust on these words, but they were interested. So basically, the feeling is that both players were waiting G2. And G2 got them really fast, to be honest, after they were eliminated.
Yeah, and I know a lot of G2 fans are nervous, excited, worried, scared because so many people are like, oh, how are we replacing Yike? How are we replacing Mickey? Like, these are downgrades. Who the heck are these guys? All that stuff. But I think they should hopefully feel some, reassurance in the fact that Scumond was so wanted by everybody. You know, it's not like, oh, if Scumond sucks, like, oh, G2 is wrong. Like, if Scumond ends up not being as good as we're necessarily hoping for, like, everybody was wrong about this guy. Like, so that should hopefully show that, this guy's a big name, a big talent, hopefully an exciting prospect. And obviously prospects don't always pan out, doesn't always work out, but G2 believes in him enough to, make these changes. And obviously their goals are high. It's not like they're just like, oh, we're going to get this guy to win LEC next year or whatever. They think this guy has that kind of talent and stuff going forward. So I know G2 fans are going to be worried and nervous and scared and all that, but hopefully that should be at least some kind of reassurance there. And I know fans are also going to be wondering about, obviously, Yike and Mickey. Is there anything anyone can say about any of them or how the search is going for them?
So I think we are going about to talk to next team. We are going to next teams that we still have to talk about are the ones who can consider those players. So I think we can talk about it more in details just after this G2 segment. But I think Eros wanted to share one last information about G2, or are you keeping it for an article?
You can say it, and I can write an article after because it's a really long story. But I think we can say it already. Basically, Parus was first option for G2. Even during Worlds, G2 was thinking on Parus, but Parus had a different contract than Scumond, so he had one more year, and he had a clause where if BDS wanted him to be on LEC, he will be their prio. Parus was also okay with that. He didn't want to hear more offers, and G2 had the chance to buy him out, but in the end they decided to not do so. And Parus, since the day he signed his first BDS contract, he kinda knew if he was going to be promoted with BDS, he will be fine with it. So yeah, but basically Parus was the first option, and as long as Parus was not available for G2, then Labrov was the second option and the one who was done.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely spicy.
Oh, sorry, Jam, go on.
No, I was going to say that's spicy. I mean, I'm sure it's not extremely often that G2, doesn't get their first option. I'm sure, it's a big name team people want to go to and stuff like that. I think most people probably would have assumed, hey, they got Labrov. Labrov was probably their first option. So that's definitely cool and interesting to hear, just like the fan in me talking.
Yeah, also to mention that, to mention another thing about Parus, like GIANTX, between the break of winter and summer, if I'm not wrong, asked BDS Academy for Parus buyout, and they were really thinking of buying him out, but in the end it didn't happen. So look at it now. Imagine a team would have paid Parus buyout instead of waiting for off-season. Now they will be rich. Life's like that, bro. Get faster.
It's not only the only team that tried to get Parus in that off-season. At least one more asked for buyout, and when they saw the buyout and the problems that you can have, because there can be problems with visa, they decided to continue with the same support.
Yeah, but it just to also, because people think like, yeah, BDS is a jail, blah blah blah. No, I think the amount of the buyout was a reasonable one, not mega high. For me, I think it's quite low for a guy like Parus, but the teams didn't want to take the risk of having a Turkish guy on the team with all this visa stuff, because, for example, the year before this, Fnatic told Parus he could be his 6th man till they get their visa done, and then he could fight with June for the LEC spot, and Parus declined it, and he joined BDS Academy. But always with players from Turkey is this scenario where you can't get done the visa, and then you have to find a new player, and if you're really late into off-season, it's going to be a nightmare. So teams always think of, let's try to not get a Turkish player unless it's either really, really good or our only option.
Yeah. Also, it's not a jail if you are planning to promote him the next year. Like, it's normal. It's normal that you don't want to give it for free. And that's my opinion.
BDS was really clear, and also BDS first option was Parus. They benched. Labrov contract was ending, but they really wanted Parus before Labrov, and when Parus was okay with the terms and okay with being promoted, then BDS allowed Labrov to explore his options, which was not the case, for example, for Skewmont. That's something we didn't mention, but Skewmont was not able to explore his options since some time passed on the season, maybe 3 weeks, I think so, something like that, because BDS was really trying to promote him and was really focusing on him accepting the deal, but in the end Skewmont really asked them to wait, and he wanted to explore all their options. So when BDS find about that, they just locked 113 and let Skewmont explore their options.
Yeah, no, definitely lots of cool insight there, lots of interesting stuff. Hopefully people, are catching everything you guys are hearing. I know Wooloo is waiting patiently. I think he has one more thing to add about Parus real quick.
Yeah, I think I agree with Alejandro. I don't think it's fair to say that Parus is jailed in BDS, because he did sign a 2-year contract, and one reason to make a link with Eros 2, he did it, is because he needed that visa for LEC, and BDS, being a Swiss organization, already took care of the visa this year, so we already know there will not be any issue for next year with Parus, so he will be in LEC. There won't be any problem. Maybe Parus would have preferred to play in G2. G2 didn't get their first option, as they didn't get 2 years ago, when G2 wanted to get Elioya, but couldn't buy him out, so they got Yike instead. It happens, it's fair. Will be really interesting to see G2 against BDS, because you have the former BDS support in G2 against Parus, who was on BDS Academy. So I think that might be a matchup to follow in LEC and see which one turns out the best. But I think that G2 is quite happy still with Labrov, from what I heard, and maybe that's why they didn't pursue Parus to the point of throwing all their money at it. So because they knew if BDS promote Parus, they can get Labrov.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that decision turns out, because yeah, now that we know that maybe Parus was an option, if Parus ends up being a beast and maybe Labrov doesn't end up being the perfect fit on G2, maybe this will be something we can look back on and make some memes about or whatever. But that's going to be interesting to see. I do know that one thing we're seeing a lot in the Twitch chat right now, a lot of people are asking about, is why is Hansama not locked in on our Sheep Esports transfer hub? Anyone have anything to say about that?
Okay,
Yeah,
I think that no, but that's because it was not supposed to be seen on stream. But Hansama is very, 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 very likely staying with G2. It's just that G2 may try to buy out another support at ADC, but I don't think it's happening.
The most likely scenario for me is that he will stay, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe really small percentage that he leaves, but I think it's not possible, to be honest.
Yeah, so it sounds like, if you guys keep coming back to that Sheep Esports page, refresh it every morning when you wake up. Maybe one of these days you'll see Hansama locked in there before too long, but we'll have to wait and see there. But yeah, I know a lot of people are asking about that. A lot of people are saying, oh, what's going on with Hans? Why are you guys not talking about Hans? What the heck? Some people saying Hansam D or whatever. So, funny stuff there. People were curious. I get it. But yeah, just wanted to throw that in there real quick. But definitely glad we got a lot of G2 stuff in there, because I know it's a team people are excited about. But we have to keep moving along. We can always, come back to anything you guys want to talk about. But next up on the list, we have GIANTX, obviously a team with a lot of blanks left to be filled in, and a team that's maybe getting a lot of rumors thrown around right now. Eros, what do you got for us about GIANTX?
Well, GIANTX is one of the few teams that are doing tryouts on LEC, and they're still going on with the tryouts. They're mixing a bit up ERLs with LEC options. They try to get Qmon, they try to get Shio, they try to get 113, so they're still on this musical chair jungle spot that is going on right now. And also for support, because Ignar is leaving. I would say Patrick has really big chances of leaving GIANTX, but it's not 100% because there is a really small chance that Patrick stays on GIANTX next year. And Antonio is always a difficult topic, and I don't know what's going on with Antonio, not gonna lie. I know he no longer has contract with GIANTX because he decided to break it to play some poker thing on Czech Republic. Big balls, not gonna lie. So yeah, that's a bit. I think they will end up their tryout soon, and yeah, of course, everyone is interested on Jake, and GIANTX is one of those teams.
Yes. I also want to say that for me, the jungler, like the future of Jake is not decided yet. I don't know if there are preference, to be honest. I think both teams are trying to get him. So yeah, we will see. And basically, what I say, the bot lane is still to figure out who is going to be. Yeah, that's it.
I see people are putting like TH3 poker in the chat and stuff like that. So that was just making me laugh real quick.
But I think if GIANTX managed to get Yike and Mickey from G2,
it could be a nice team, right?
They may change
can
Patrick.
Be really good.
I'm not Spanish, by the way. I think GIANTX can be really good next year.
Yeah, Jackie is. I think, unless the last split, he was really good. He showed that he has talent. Jake was in Worlds probably the team that Europe had more hope on them. And Mikix was also there. So if they find the team together, it's going to be good. I am pretty sure. Like really, really good.
Yeah. But so far, this is just a potential roster. They consider other junglers, other supports. ADC is completely undecided yet. So we'll have to see.
Something that just recently kind of came across my plate today that I know people are putting in the chat a lot, people put it on Twitter a lot as well. The name Spica kind of randomly being thrown around. I don't know if anyone can say anything about that, or if that's a meme, if that's,
no, 100% Spica. It's a consideration for an LEC team. But it's like a domino thingy on jungle that goes really bad. I think first option for GIANTX right now is Jake, but they also have other options saved in case Jake decides to go to another team, for example, Carminecor. So yeah, let's see how it's done. But if Spiga comes to Europe, will be insane, right? Will be a banger.
Yeah.
I
agree with Eros. There are options to see Spica here in Europe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering about. Obviously, coming from the non-European perspective, how you guys necessarily feel about some of the NA or the American players, or whatever, coming over. I know, obviously, in the LCS, there's been times where we've been really excited to see European players come over, and then there's sometimes where we've been like, hey, these European players are not really doing too hot. Maybe we can stick with some more NA talent. So is that, like, do you guys know how European fans necessarily feel about that? Would we not mind a couple NA players coming over? Do we want NA players staying away? What's kind of the feeling there from what you guys can sense?
I'm happy if we can steal some of the top NA talents, because as a European fan, I've suffered during the golden age of Europe when we were losing a lot of players all of seasons to NA. So I'm happy we get some back, So if you can get Jojo and Spica, I'm quite happy because I think they are top players. And obviously, I don't think anyone would debate, but like the best players today in NA can play in Europe. Like they are good enough. Maybe 5 years ago, I would tell you no, because I'm really biased, but I think they can have their place here.
Also, I think we need personalities. People that people need to realize that this is a business, and
entertainment.
We need people. Yeah, exactly. We need people that people talk about them. Like Whippo, for example. We have some personalities also in Koi. I don't know. We need this kind of players, and I think Spica is one of them. So I will be so happy to see him in LEC. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be cool. Obviously, it would suck to lose those guys from the LCS, but yeah, obviously, it'd be a big win for the LEC in a bunch of different ways. I'm also just curious to see how they would do over there. It'd be funny. Like, say Jojo and Spica come over and Smurf, like that's gonna increase the trash talk so much. Say Spica and Jojo come over and they suck, like that's a whole nother thing that people are gonna be able to meme about and be like, oh yeah, EU's so hard or whatever. But yeah, the fact that they are also both pretty big personalities and both pretty popular players, let alone how good or bad they are, I think is very, very interesting. Could be a big win. But then I also see, the other half where every time we get an important NA now, people are like, oh, that's some, NA prospect spot that he just took. And you could kind of say the same thing for ERLs. Like, oh, we could get another ERL player in there and let him be getting some experience, blah, 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 blah. So, I think there's always two sides to the story and definitely two arguments. It just kind of depends if you're, I guess how European you are or how against North America you are or whatever. But that'll be something interesting, something we haven't necessarily seen a ton of. So it'd be cool. It'd be different at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good. But yeah, I just wanted to get Spica's name in there because it's not even something that we'd necessarily talked about. But yeah, I woke up, saw that on Twitter. I was like, hey, gotta throw this out there, see if anybody can say anything, whatever. Cool. But yeah, moving along, I guess next, obviously I'm sure what a lot of people have been waiting for is going to be the talk about KCORP. Obviously, extremely popular team. So a team that everybody has something to say about. I'm sure Wooloo is going to have plenty to dive in here, but Alejandro, he was upset. He said he wanted to chime in on some stuff first. So I'm sure
No, he can go. It's okay.
Whoa, okay. No, everyone's fighting over it.
Give it to Alejandro.
Alejandro, you start, and then we'll bring in Wooloo for the finish.
Alejandro.
Okay, then I go for it. Okay.
He was crying. He was like, please, I need this one.
So yeah, Kana, as Carmen Corp published, is going to be the top laner. I kinda knew that was going to happen really likely days before, but it's really difficult to know when the clause is going to be applied. Kameto is answering. Be careful, say. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to talk, Kameto. That's it. For jungler, they have different options. These options, Eros already named one, is Jack. And the community, I think, is pretty right, or they know what they are talking about. I think Jankos is also a consideration. I don't know which one is first, which one is the second one, I'm honest. Bloody is going to stay. And for me, the ADC, it's, I mean, all the Carmen Corp fans know. An apocalypse has to happen, or if not, Kalista is going to be the ADC. I'm pretty sure.
Alejandro, do you know if any LEC team has asked for Kalista buyout?
And to be honest, I have no idea. To be full honest. But anyway,
sure
imagine that the team asked for the buyout. I think he will stay in Carmen Corp. That's my opinion. We will see.
That's my feeling too. That's my feeling.
But I don't have info about the buyout.
As we say in Spain, Kalista loves more KC than Florentino Real Madrid. So for me, the most obvious thing is for him to play on Carmen Corp.
I think he's really loyal, to be honest.
Yeah. At least what's for sure is that Upset is out. This we can say for sure. KC want to promote Kalist. I don't know to buyout either. We talk about buyout, but we could also.
I don't know if there is buyout, to be honest. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
People on the chat say like Pedri clause. I don't know how much is Pedri clause, but I guess Kalista buyout is close to that 100%. So yeah, for me it's the most obvious thingy for Carmen Corp is for him to play next year with Targamas, where people have been doubting a lot if KC will go for the Jake Mickey's combo, blah blah blah. As far as I know, Targamas will play on Carmen Corp next year. Don't know if you guys have the same info.
Yeah. So Jake Mickey is a big topic right now. We talked about GIANTX. The thing is, the duo cannot join KC, or it's difficult because KC have told to Targamas that he's staying on the team next year. So I don't think it's going to change. But Yike is being considered. I see a lot of KC fans on Twitter that debate which player stage should get. Well, sometimes there's a lot of wrong guesses, but as Alejandro said, this off-season, the fans are pretty spot on. As I said yesterday on my stream, Jankos also discussed a possible offer with KC, but that doesn't mean he's the first option. Yike is possible. Scumond also had discussions about an offer, but as we mentioned earlier, he is going to G2. I think the decision makes sense for Scumond. But yeah, a topic for KC will be in the jungle. Like that's like the really big question mark.
I didn't talk about support. I don't have info, so I want to clarify here in the stream. I don't know about Targamas, but I trust my colleagues. And yeah, for jungler is what I said, what I have right now.
And then I know a couple times we've already mentioned like Mickey and Yike maybe moving together and stuff like that. Is that does it seem like or sound like that Mickey and Yike want to try to stay together? Like I know you're saying they're considering Yike kind of by himself and stuff, but do we know at all if they're trying to move together, if they're kind of just totally separate? I mean, it seems like they're linked with some of these different teams, but is that just because they're both good players or anything there?
Yeah, I think they would be happy to play together. Like from what I'm hearing, like just off-season wise, I don't think like two players have any beef against each other, at least, So yeah. I think they would be happy to play together, and this can have an influence on the off-season. But it's possible that we see both on different teams. Because some teams want Yike more than Mickey, some teams want Mickey more than Yike. So it's still to be determined really where they can go. Let's not forget that NA also still have to do a lot of moves during this off season. So yeah, a lot of doors open for both players.
Also, just to add this, I heard that Mikix is asking for some dev players to join team. So I think I think Jack can be in that team, but I think it's difficult that all the teams can spend that much money and buy Jack and Mikix with all the players that Mikix is trying to get with him. So we will see what happens, but for me it's difficult right now that they go in the same team. We will see.
Yeah, and I know too. Like so far when we've been running through all the teams, it keeps sounding like, oh, this guy was considered by KC, then he goes somewhere else. This guy's considered by KC, and he goes somewhere else. So is that something that are you guys still feeling confident about this KCORP offseason? Is that something teams or like fans should be worried about? Are they still going to end up with a strong roster because maybe it seems like they've missed out on a couple people, or maybe they're missing out on the people they want? Is that something you guys are worried about at all? I guess.
I mean, I think as I said, the big question is the jungle, and there are still good junglers available. So I think KC can be a strong team next year.
I did see some people asking in the chat about Closer as well. Obviously, if they're considering other junglers, Closer on the way out. Anything anyone can say about Closer, maybe his future?
Yeah, my feeling about Closer is that he's one of the potential fallback plans if KC don't lock one of the junglers they seek after. So yeah, that's everything there is about Closer so far.
Sounds good. Anything else anyone wanted to touch about KCORP? Anything else people think fans would be interested, excited about right now? Obviously, I know it seems like it's a crazy time for KCORP with all these different considerations, all these different possibilities. I know people are going to be going crazy with all their different ideas and stuff. But anything else to close on or throw out there? Anything like that?
Nope.
Sounds good. Yeah, so I guess we're now kind of getting close to the end of the LEC. I believe we just have one team left that we haven't talked about just yet. Wooloo, did you want to talk to us about Rogue and whatever the heck is going on with them? I know there's maybe a couple of different things to talk about there.
Yeah, so Rogue Offseason is very specific. So I need to be careful, not careful, but like detailed in my introduction. Because as I reported in July, Rogue is trying to sell their LEC spot. One buyer was Falcons that had agreed on a number, but that deal was blocked by Riot Games. And now we have a second buyer for Rogue who is trying to secure a deal, but the deal is not done yet. And as long as the deal is not done, I don't really know if it will get done, but as long as it's not done, Rogue cannot send offers to players. So we don't have any player, new player locked on the team, except for Larson, because he's still under contract with Rogue and he will continue with the organization if they sell the spot. But right now, we know that Jankos is on the market. We know that Yike is on the market. We know that Mikix is on the market. Obviously, Rogue is one of the teams interested in those players, especially if the deals happen. They will have a lot of money, but they are not able to send any offer for the moment.
Yeah, obviously that sounds like a pretty big issue, for a team that, especially when the offseason is moving so fast. It seems like we already have a couple rosters done, we have a couple things, and we're talking about how this, we're in the middle of Worlds and things are already wrapping up. So I'm sure that's something they're going to want to figure out sooner rather than later, or they're going to be left. There's still some probably pretty good players. It seems like there's a ton of players on the market right now, but maybe not what would be their first options or whatever, which could obviously be an issue for a new team trying to come in and start a roster and get off on the right foot and build a fan base and all that stuff. So seems like, maybe not the best timing for all this to not be going smoothly or whatever.
I mean, I think they were expecting to end this problem before. As Wulu reported, was when you reported it was in July.
Yeah, in July.
So yeah, they were trying to find buyers since that. They had different teams. Now they are trying to finalize with one. I don't know if it's going to happen finally, so we will see. That's the only info I have. Maybe it's out of date, so we will see.
Sounds good. But yeah, obviously it doesn't seem like there's too much more to touch on there if, their off season's kind of at a stopgap for right now. I think that kind of gets us. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but they are still active on the off season. They are still discussing with players. They are talking with Yike, with Jankos, with Mickey. Like they do want a good roster, but they just will not be able to close on anything. I see some names being thrown around in the chat, such as Upset. There are names that could be on Rogue potentially as well, but Rogue is not able to send offers at the moment. So a lot of uncertainty about which players they can lock. But if the deal happens, it can really well be a top team.
Yeah, I guess so. So my question, I think, from that would be: does that put the players in a weird spot? Not being able to officially lock anything, or is that not really a big deal? Like, are players, hesitant to kind of get involved in that mess, for lack of a better word, necessarily, or is that something where just because it's not official, it's still fine? Like, don't worry about it, type thing. Or could some players potentially end up in some weird positions because of some of that stuff?
Yeah, I can go. I think it's suboptimal for players who would want to be on Rogue or who are still in the off season, because that's like one option that's a bit uncertain. But in the end, Rogue should find a deal. We should know if they find a deal soon. I think it's maximum. It's maximum 1-2 weeks. Like, it's not a matter of months. So we are reaching like the half point of the off season. So I think players can wait. Fnatic is not on the market yet anyway. So I don't think it's that much of a big deal for the players.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, makes sense. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up all the LEC stuff necessarily. I know a lot of people in the chat are asking about maybe players that don't necessarily fit into one spot or another. So I didn't know if we could quick kind of rapid fire go through a couple of names people are talking about, and we can just maybe say like real quick anything we have about them, if that sounds good to everybody.
Yeah, we can do that.
The most thing that I'm getting like added at me right now is Bo. People wondering any news on Bo, anything to throw out there, just kind of.
I don't think it will be an LEC spot for Bo next year.
Yeah. Nemesis and who else?
Yeah, I mean that's who the other people were saying. I was gonna say Bo was one of them, Nemesis was one of them, and then Upset being another one that people are asking about as well.
So Upset will likely be in LEC, but he's not on any team yet. He's not locked to any team. Nemesis and Bo is very, very unlikely. It's not 0%, but it's very, very, very unlikely.
Yeah, I agree with Wulu. I give to Upset a 40% chance, something like that. 40%, yeah, 50 maybe. The other ones, I didn't hear about them. So maybe I don't know yet, but I didn't hear about both players.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then I mean some of the other kind of random names, I guess, being thrown around. People still asking about Adam. People asking about Jankos. Some of those names that people are throwing around as well. But I feel like we've touched on some of those topics, some of those players and stuff as well. People saying Photon. I know we haven't talked. This is just another random name. I know we're kind of running out of time. We're trying to wrap up. I don't know if this is too crazy to get into or not or anything like that. But some people are saying Berserker stuff too. I know we haven't really touched on LCS too much, but. Does anyone have anything necessarily about that real quick before we get too crazy?
So to be honest, information about Berserker is surprisingly quiet this off season. I don't hear his name too much. So I think there is a chance, but this is an assumption, right? Because of the info I have that he could go to Asia. But yeah, there are not so many rumors about Berserker at the moment.
Okay, and then this is last one, I promise. Then we're gonna wrap things up. We're gonna let everybody go.
Berserker, I think it's too early. That's the only thing I'm going to say now.
Okay,
Go
so we're gonna have to wait a little bit on that. Yeah, go. Last one. I just saw this in the chat, and it kind of at least piqued my interest a little bit. Perks? Anything from anybody?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I didn't hear about.
I heard he could be open to play, but I haven't heard like any team in discussion with him. So I'm not expecting to see him next season, at least not in LEC for sure.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, I think we've gotten a nice little live stream in here today. I think we've talked about all kinds of different stuff. I know everyone's super busy. This is a crazy time of the year, so I don't want to, take up too much of these guys' time. Thank you everybody for popping into the chat today as well. Hopefully, I'm sure the stream wasn't perfect, but I hope it was at least pretty good. I know this is something we want to continue doing regularly for you guys. So we definitely want to hear your guys' feedback. Let us know what you thought was good, bad, ugly, in between, all that stuff, and hopefully make some changes for the future. But like I said, these guys have tons of work to do. They want to get the rest of the scoops, the stories, all that good stuff out to you guys. I know I have plenty of stuff I want to start putting out on YouTube. I want to do some clips, all that good stuff. So I just real quick wanted to say thank you to everyone who has tuned into this. We appreciate you guys a ton. Did want to say one last word about Holy as well. Like I said before, everything we are doing at Sheep Esports for the rest of the year is powered by Holy. It's all thanks to them. The fact that I'm here, all these people, everyone we have working behind the scenes, it's thanks to them. They're an amazing company. They've been doing great things, great tasting energy drinks. That just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. You can use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first offer, SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. So please, if you love what we're doing, if you love the streams, the articles, the website, the Twitter, YouTube, everything, an awesome way to help support us is by purchasing some Holy, using our codes, letting us know, or letting them know, that you're coming from us and trying to help support us. So we would appreciate that a ton. We appreciate you guys, your time, everything. Expect more from us. There's definitely more stuff coming. Expect more from the off season. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we catch you guys in the next one.
Have a nice
See you.
day. Bye
Thank you guys.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching.